The air was thick with silence, broken only by the faint sound of a crying baby coming from the heart of the cursed village. But no one dared to go near. Many years ago, the village of Asani had been a bustling, happy place. Children laughed in the fields, and drums echoed at night during celebrations. But that all changed when a stranger arrived. He was an old man with hollow eyes and a walking stick carved with strange symbols. The elders welcomed him, offering food and water, as was their custom. But the man refused, saying, "Your kindness will not save you from what lies ahead." At first, they thought he was mad, but his words grew darker. "You have wronged the spirits of the land," he said, pointing toward the sacred baobab tree at the center of the village. "Until you make amends, this place will fall into ruin. No one will escape." The villagers laughed him off and carried on with their lives. That night, a powerful storm rolled in. The wind howled, and lightning struck the sacred baobab tree, splitting it in two. From that moment, strange things began to happen. Cattle wandered off and were found dead with no wounds. Crops withered overnight. The village well, once full of the sweetest water, turned black and bitter. But worst of all were the disappearances. Every few nights, someone would vanish without a trace. First, it was the young, then the elders. Even entire families disappeared, their homes left untouched as if they had just stepped out. Desperate, the remaining villagers sought help from nearby communities, but no one dared to enter Asani. The stories were too terrifying. They spoke of shadows moving in the corners of your eyes, whispers that came from nowhere, and the crying baby, always the crying baby, that lured anyone foolish enough to investigate. One brave hunter, Okoth, decided to unravel the mystery. He tied charms around his neck and carried a bag of protective herbs. As he entered the village, the air grew colder. The homes were eerily intact, but the silence was suffocating. Then, he heard it, the baby's cry, soft and pitiful, coming from the ruins of the sacred baobab tree. Okoth approached cautiously, his spear gripped tightly. The cry grew louder, more desperate. When he reached the tree, he found an old cradle, rocking by itself in the windless night. There was no baby, only a scrap of cloth soaked in blood. Suddenly, the ground beneath him shifted, and a shadow rose from the broken tree. It took the form of the old man, his eyes glowing with anger. "You should not have come," the shadow hissed. Before Okoth could move, the shadow enveloped him. The next morning, his charms and spear were found near the tree, but Okoth was gone. To this day, the village of Asani remains abandoned. Travelers avoid the area, and those brave enough to pass close by swear they hear a baby crying in the wind. No one dares to enter.